Think whatever
because
can't believe how well I'm
Good morning and welcome. Good morning and welcome. It wouldn't be a Jimmy Palumbo related show without Jimmy trying to steal the spotlight. What's wrong already? Yeah, he's coming back in now. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Chop Sports Daily, coming to you live from the Flipping Made Easy studio in Mattawa, New Jersey, and broadcasting live from the Cabinet Creation Sports Desk. That's right. We're just branding everything around here. Things have changed a lot since Jimmy Palumbo, Mr. 706 himself, Johnny Trino, joining us here today on a Monday, a crazy weekend again, Gooch. We're getting weekend after weekend of headline after headline, and it's good. It's stuff that we're kind of worried about it at first. We were like, oh man, the baseball's not coming back, and football, we don't know about that. And like we're going to be running out of content, blah blah blah. But we're here, and there's a lot of stuff to talk about.
I'm almost at a point now where I kind of want it to get back to normal because the content.
Jimmy, you're blocked a little bit, so if you want to move over,
the content means that I have just a ton more work.
Yeah,
and as we move out of this whole free agency frenzy, things will be a little bit easier on me. But then obviously we're going to have to struggle to kind of scrape up content. But baseball season starting.
I don't think so.
We have spring training games underway. It was great to see the Yankees playing a little bit.
Yes, Michael
right?
Kay, David Cohn. It was
So
Coney and Michael Kay back on the broadcast. But first and foremost, if you want to support Chop Sports, be sure to do so. I don't know if I can speak today. Be sure to do so by heading on over to patreon.com// whatever slash you want to use, Chop Sports. That helps us out tremendously. We appreciate you guys. New Patreons coming in each and every day. That's not a lie. I'm not making that up. You can actually see it right on the Patreon page of how many people are supporting Chop Sports. So we're on our way. We're just trying to pay the electric at this point. But it is a great way to support us. $3, $5, $10. And I think the $10 stuff, Gooch, there's actually going to be some real benefits coming their way.
Yeah, we're going to do a little thing called Baseball Bingo for the Patreon coming up very shortly. I'll give the details as we go closer towards it, but baseball season's coming, so it's going to be soon.
Yeah, so that's coming up on the Patreon. Also, YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday or last show, I think we were sitting at 780, and we were like, look, man, we got to push this YouTube. We're going to try to get to 1,000. Let's just get over 800 by the weekend, right? So I do want to shout out Chris Payne, Officer Chris Payne. He's out in New York. He's back to work today. He took full responsibility for the bump of 40-plus people coming in here.
What, bro, there's like 3 or 4 people that have said the same thing to me, like, oh, I shared your shit out. So everyone feels like they're the reason for the bump.
I'm with it.
But as long as there's 6 or 7 people that are consistently sharing the stuff out and feeling like they're the reason, we're going to get to where we need to go. So we appreciate all you guys.
So much competition out for liaison.
Yeah, you really do.
I'm being reduced to nothing.
People are starting to come in. People are starting to come in a little bit and say, well, we got Jimmy Palumbo. Like, who? And I'm like, oh man, it's to that point.
It's the Legion of Liaison.
And Chris Payne is actually checking in on the comments. He said, I'm here. Hi, Johnny. He's a very, very big fan of Johnny Trino. So he's like, I told him, I was like, by the way, if you're still around, because he lives like 10 minutes down the road, but he's been out with a back injury. He's a cop over in New York. And I said, just so you know, a little birdie told me Johnny Trino will be in office today doing the show. And he's like, God, I'm back at work. I was like, well, so much for that. So anyway, YouTube is on a surge right now. So congratulations to us. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, Chris, if you want to go support Jimmy, I mean, on a Saturday night, there's some tickets available.
There is some tickets available.
So next second from downtown.
Next Saturday night. Next Saturday already? Is it that? No,
April 2nd.
Okay, so
Saturday,
2 weeks from
April
now.
2nd,
Jesus Christ.
At the Avenel Performing Arts Center. Check it out on my Facebook or Avenel Performing Arts Center.
It's just a little 200-person venue that sold out night one. We had to do so much. We had to do a second show.
There's only about 40 tickets sold so far Saturday, but they say they get a lot of
walk-up traffic
between now and
definitely excited for that one.
I hope it sells out. Maybe the second one.
Yeah.
Only problem is I got to do 45 minutes.
You have to do a You're gonna have to do a residency over at the Avenel Performing Arts Center.
From the third inning on, underneath, he was going to say, "This is the most innings Jimmy Palumbo has pitched." Next inning, this is the most
like a pop-up balloon. Yeah.
Average pitch count 27. He's now on pitch 89 and struggling.
And it's spring, so you're gonna wear yourself out.
I'm worried about running out of gas on stage.
Oh man. Well, we'll see. It's gonna be a fun show, fun time.
Good evening, everybody.
Chop Sports will be there representing. Gooch, how was the weekend, bro? You good? Weekend was good.
Man.
Yeah.
I actually got to relax and didn't just pass out yesterday. I watched like 11 hours of Netflix and Hulu while sporadically getting some work done, but finally got the Last Kingdom finished. I'm on Snowfall now. We got Top Boy back. There's a lot of good shows.
What the
on
hell
Netflix.
is Top Boy?
Oh, bro. That's where the bro. Hey,
Top
bro.
Boy. It sounds one of those shows you're watching in private of your own home.
Right.
No, well, that is very funny, but it's basically about British drug trade.
I can't get into shows with strong
Bro.
British accents.
AJ,
Can't do it.
if you're watching this show, bro, go watch Top Boy.
Dude,
I'm pretty sure we've
and
talked
people
about
like
it.
watch with the like. I walk into my room the other day and my wife's watching something on TV with the subtitles, and I'm just like, how do you watch something with the like? If I want to read, I'm going to read a book. Like, just let me watch the TV. Like, there's no reason.
Sometimes they talk fast, you don't see it.
I don't know.
That if you're in a room full of loud people.
That's true. I guess that helps in that regard. Maybe if you're at the bar and you want to hear like the commentary or whatever, but like they're usually like 10 minutes behind. You're like, there's a high fly ball. We're like, we're in the bottom of the sixth. What is he talking about? But anyway, so your weekend was good. That's great. I had a WrestlePro event on Saturday night. That was a lot of fun. Jimmy, the guys that were wrestling are your age. The Rock and Roll Express were
So
there.
they're very old.
Yeah, the Rock and Roll Express are there on their farewell tour. Which, by the way, I talked to both of those guys. They're still with it, man. Not with it like that, but like like they're still like into the wrestling scene. It's crazy. And then I watched Barry Horowitz. If you're a wrestling fan, you don't know who Barry Horowitz is. Educate yourselves. He was the biggest, what they call them, jobbers, like job guys, enhancement talents, made everybody else like Hogan and Bret Hart, and those guys look good back in the day, just to bounce around, get beat up, right?
Right.
He came out of retirement. Oh, you got the Razors shirt on?
Find it for like 6 days.
You know what's funny? It's not funny, but me and Kevin Matthews, the guy who runs the show, I said, you want to do a 10-bell salute for him? And we did. So we did a 10-bell salute for Scott Hall, who passed away last week. So we paid tribute to that. But a great day. Had a lot of fun. Big sold-out crowd. Fight TV, pay-per-view, all that stuff. It was great. It was a lot easier doing the American show, Chris, than it was to do the Mexican show. That's for sure. I did a Mexican show 2 weeks ago.
Do you speak Spanish?
I don't speak any Spanish. So, like, I was the whitest commentator of all time. And I was trying to, like, roll my R's, and I was like, har, it was okay. I found out from Fight TV that I did well. So they came back. They had positive feedback. So I'm happy about that. It was a good day, good payday. That's for sure. So that's that. So
Speaking
before we get into wrestling,
some Rutgers wrestling.
before we get into that, it's not breaking news, but it is news. I want to know your thoughts, both of you guys, and I need some actual critique on this. The NHL trade deadline is today, and I need to know your analysis and if the Rangers will be buyers or sellers. I'm kidding,
Listen,
obviously.
Bottom line is the Minnesota North Stars are not making.
Are they even? Is that a team? No.
They moved out of Minnesota in
That was
1992.
That was Jimmy's team back in the
Every
day.
team in the NHL originally was the Minnesota North Stars. Like the Rangers, like in 1925 when they started, they were the Minnesota North Stars.
Everybody was.
And either that, then you become the Winnipeg Jets. Are they still in the league?
So, Dave,
Yes.
the Rangers should be buyers.
They are buyers.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was saying
they're making
they're,
a run.
They're in the mix. They
Listen,
better not be
we're the
selling.
only team in New York worth mentioning right now because we don't know what kind of lineups we're going to have in New York with the COVID vaccine mandate shit. That's all. We'll get into baseball in a little bit, but you did mention Rutgers Wrestling, and obviously the national tournament just comes and goes. We did all right. I think that a lot of our guys showed up.
I think it was. Look, we had a lot of guys represented at Rutgers, so that was a good thing when you have 7 guys competing for a national title. They didn't necessarily fare out the way I thought they would. I thought we would have done a little bit better, but we did get 2 All-Americans out of it. Sebastian Rivera, 5-time All-American, and our boy Bolsack did make All-American. He actually took 7th.
That kid is.
So you took 7th in the country.
Ox.
That's legit.
That kid is an ox.
Unfortunately, he's on his way out of Rutgers right now, but we have some nice talent coming in. Paz fell short in his first round match. Then he wrestled back. He ended up winning 2 matches in the consolation bracket, but fell short in his He was 1 win short or 2 wins short of qualifying for All-American.
And obviously, you hit me up. You're like, "Hey, Paz is on match 6," and I tuned in right away, and I'm watching that match, and I'm just like, I know there's no. Is there a penalty for stalling? Yes, right. When you're trying to avoid at all costs,
yeah.
I feel like there was a lot of that going on in that last Paz match. Like every time he got close, the kid just backed away, backed away.
I mean, if I'm going to be honest, watching that match, the other kid to me was more the aggressor. And when you get a lead, in
you
the
think
late,
so?
Yeah,
More the aggressor.
There was no.
Man.
I don't think there was any real stalling for the first 4.5 minutes. I would say towards the end of the second period, Paz was kind of falling behind. You could actually hear, I don't know if it was the guy who he's wrestling from Cornell's mother yelling, he's the only one shooting. He's the only one shooting. And in my head, I'm thinking to myself, like, wow, Paz might get a stalling warning in this one. But he did open himself up in the third because he was down. And
maybe I was watching the wrong mat. I don't know. Like the way you're breaking this down, I'm like, what?
I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
Because
I guess it's because we were looking for points.
When you see a guy moving forward the entire time, which is what Paz does. He kind of pushes forward. But he was almost walking himself into a double leg. Look, I'm not here critiquing Paz. This dude's a stud wrestler. He ran into some tough competition. I think the toughest weight class in the country.
Yeah.
Just,
but
like we talked about before, Rutgers is like 1,000% better than they were like 8 years ago. But when you wrestle in the Big Ten, it's
a gauntlet, man.
We'll put it this way.
It's by far the best conference in any sport
in wrestling. The Big Ten wrestling is far and away better than any other conference in any other sport.
No, yeah, it's not
like the SEC is the best in football, but like the difference between the SEC in football and compared to the Big Ten in wrestling. Big Ten in wrestling is
you can make the joke like, oh, Rutgers is 8th in the country, but they're 6th in the Big Ten.
Yeah. And now I will say this, though.
That's the truth.
I will say this. Rutgers is now officially on the map as a legitimate Big Ten team.
Yeah.
I think that they're a top 5 Big Ten team in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy, you make the comment before that you think that Rutgers has a better chance at winning a national championship in football than they do.
They're not winning the
wrestling.
Big Ten in my lifetime.
Because they're
not. How many got left, Jimmy?
They're not going to win the Big Ten in football in anyone's lifetime. And they're not going to beat Ohio State ever, according to. So like they're never going to ever beat Ohio State. Guess what? They could have beat Ohio State in wrestling this year.
Because even if they in wrestling, if they have a year where maybe Penn State's a little down, Michigan's not going to be down. And there's that
don't
other
forget
school,
about
Ohio
Iowa.
State.
Iowa too. Iowa
now is
it's a freaking wrestling factory.
But you
over
say
Iowa.
that, and I say this: we got the newest recruit,
Yes,
Brian
sir.
Soldano. He's probably the best wrestler to come out of New Jersey in the last 25 years. I will also say this: there was about 4 wrestlers in the national finals out of 16 that are from New Jersey. So if Rutgers could start locking down all these local wrestlers, which Soldano is the best wrestling prospect to come out of high school, and I'd say the last 2 decades.
Now with the portal,
I don't know. Does that go away? You think as like COVID goes? Because the portal opened up basically because of COVID.
The portal is
the portal's staying. You're not going to go back.
Yeah,
not going to happen.
No turning back now.
I will. The reason why I bring up Brian Soldano, ladies and gentlemen, is because I got off the phone with him yesterday. We have a meeting set up for Tuesday. He will be the newest CHOP athlete as he enters his career at Rutgers Scarlet Knights Wrestling. I'm very excited about this.
NIL.
We're turning into Nike, by the way. Like we're inking these guys, and we're like, let's go.
I had a conversation with him. He's excited to get on board. He sees what we've done with Paz and Bolsack, and there's just no reason for these Rutgers athletes to not want to work with us. It's a perfect situation for both parties,
and it's like effortless.
We're
you
excited
just share
to
a
have
link
Brian
and you make money.
Come on board, and hopefully we can get him on the show soon because 3-time state champ. Just to spit a couple numbers at you guys. He went 38-0 this year. 36 of his matches he pinned in.
Oh my God.
Right in the state finals.
Jesus Christ.
The article he won outstanding wrestler in every single tournament that he was in, not just this year, even last year. And he hasn't lost since his sophomore year. The kid that he lost to was ranked number 1 in the country, and he lost like 7-4.
Okay, where did that number 1 kid go?
That number 1 kid is probably at Iowa.
And there you go.
and there it is.
Back to my argument.
But to make a point, I'm not exactly sure where he went, to be fair. Iowa, Michigan. But that kid beat him 2 years ago when he was a sophomore. Soldano has gotten a lot better. I would like to see that.
And you said he's 190?
He's 109.
So he's built like a brick shit house.
Slides right in because Bolsack leaves, we could slide Soldano
the wrestling
into the
coach
190
at Rutgers
pounds.
is incredible. The talent
Great recruiter.
It just so happens we're in this logjam of a conference, but I also don't know
that
I don't think wrestling is a team sport anyway.
It is. It is and it isn't.
It's like I don't think
just breaking coming in. Chris Payne is watching. If you're giving out sponsorships, can he be the first Chop Cop? Chop Cop sounds like a hit series coming to Fox. You need a booking? Like Chop Cop.
I don't know, all new Chop Cop.
Right. That's actually a great idea.
Maybe they should have that like fantasy cop Like fantasy, you get traded to a different.
Now we're
man.
talking
No,
about.
man. That can go in so many different directions.
What are we doing here? Is this the
you get
Pornhub
traded to
episode?
like
What's
you're
going on, bro?
You're a New York City cop. You
You
get traded to like Long Island.
Chop Sports is going to make a Rutgers fan living in Washington. All right. Well, listen, Bailey, bro. If you're a wrestling fan, you got to tune in, bro. They're exciting guys over there.
The
They're doing well.
The beautiful thing about college sports is you could kind of have an allegiance to wherever you're from, but it's fun to kind of pick up and see some fun things. Now you have a connection to Jersey, Bailey, right? You got this sports show that you're watching. Definitely check out the Rutgers Wrestling team if you're into that.
And we'll fly you out for the barbecue. No, I'm kidding. We can't do, but you're more than welcome to fly in for the Chops barbecue, Chops Sports
We
barbecue,
can get
whatever we want.
Toasty to throw you in his stowaway.
There you go. I'm sure you guys can split the miles up
every 2 weeks.
Anyway, so some New Jersey ties there. And congratulations to the Rutgers wrestling team. They did very well. And our shout out to our boys, Paz, Bolsack, the entire team. Congratulations.
If you're a Rutgers wrestler and you want to be a Chop athlete, reach out.
Yes. I mean, it's not hard. It's literally effortless on your end just to say, like, honestly, I've never worked with somebody easier than Paz. Everything that you've sent him, he's like, yeah, great. Oh, print it. Like, let's go. No critiques, no nothing. There was guys, and I'm not calling them anybody out by name, but there were guys like, yo, can you tweak this? Can you tweak this? I'm like,
in some ways, I prefer the little bit of tweaks here and there because when somebody just says okay to whatever, it puts a little more pressure on me. I feel I'd rather him be like, oh, could you move this? Could you move that? So I know he likes it. Rather than with me, I'm kind of this way too. If someone hands me a medium rare steak and I ordered it medium well, I'm gonna fucking eat it because I'm not assertive in that way.
Scoop, you act as if we're not going to get there. Relax, bro. Relax. It's called a rundown, man. Like, so I go through the things, and we're going to get to your boys or our boys or collectively Jersey's boys. We're staying on Jersey for a second before we get into the madness that was this weekend as far as the tournament goes. There is a little New Jersey news on the Green Bay Packer front. He had to get this in here. Rasul Douglas gets re-signed to the Green Bay Packers, 3 years, $21 million. You have to put this out there because the kid's from Jersey. He's making some money now. He's probably making a name for himself after I thought he got cut from 15 teams. I was wrong. Not the same guy.
Well, no, it is.
Just the Raiders.
No. He got cut from the Arizona Cardinals. He got cut from the Panthers. He's a practice squad journeyman for a couple of years.
And now he's a 21 millionaire.
The reason why it's a great story, one, he's from East Orange.
Love it.
So East Orange High School. We have, I think, a guy that coached him in the group. Boston College, maybe?
I don't know, New Jersey, Dina. But anyway, so
check that out. I'm
he's from New Jersey, so that's why.
Nonetheless, thanks for ruining the moment for me, Jimmy, because I didn't know that, and I have all the notes on him right here, except for where he went to college.
I assumed you knew.
You fuck.
You were talking about this. I don't even know.
So Rasul Douglas, he's from East Orange. We got Ray Gross. Ray, not Ray, but the other Ray, Chicago Bears fan. So I won't hold it against you on this one. But I believe that he coached him, or at least was involved with him in high school at some way, because he coaches at East Orange. I'm just not sure if he was there then.
What is it?
Nassau Community College.
Nassau Community College. No, he had to have gone somewhere else.
No.
Like that's like.
All right, I'm on it.
All right, so Rasul Douglas, Dina, you could bring up the contract, or did you already? Yeah, he did already. So 3 years, 21
It does just say Nassau Community College, bro.
Good for him, bro.
Like if he's a community college, good shout out to Dina, by the way. You're not wrong. I couldn't believe it, so I had to confirm. But dude, maybe he's a county college guy that just goes walks on.
Rutgers plays them. It'll be 6-3 at the half. When Rutgers
it does say that he later went to West Virginia.
West Virginia. Oh, so he's a McAfee guy. Maybe we'll get him on the McAfee show the day after he comes on our show, because that's what we're doing here. Rasul, we need you on the show, bud. We would love to talk football.
Jersey,
I'm a Packer
and of course
fan.
Ray,
Jersey. We got the Jersey
a lot
connection.
of ties.
And if you know Ray Gross, I mean, he'll put in a good word for us.
So, Scoop, how come you didn't have a mic stand when you were on? Sauce had one. Johnny has one right now. They had the middle like a scared child in a domestic incident. He's not wrong. Oh, man. So, yes, shout out to Rasul Douglas with his new contract from New Jersey, and that's a big thing. Now, staying in New Jersey, ladies and gentlemen, they're still dancing. St. Peter's is still doing their thing in the NCAA tournament. It's very, very exciting. They have some cast of characters over there. It's an exciting time to be a fan. I know some Rutgers fans I know, Scoop being one of them, we're all kind of behind them.
Why is this guy Doug not on Rutgers, by the way?
Seriously.
What the fuck is going on with Rutgers basketball? How is this kid not on Rutgers? It's like what's the guy's name?
Guess what? You just mentioned the portal.
I made the mistake of investing my happiness into Rutgers game last Wednesday.
Okay.
And whenever you invest your soul
against Notre Dame,
happiness,
okay.
Whenever you invest your soul and happiness into a college team, and they let you down in double overtime. I had trouble. The TV was on the front lawn. I couldn't watch any of the games, and then I have to watch this little porn star point guard. I watched Rutgers dribble the ball off their feet every time down, and here comes this little
He's like
guy.
a handsome Adam Morrison.
Right.
I was just gonna say,
And
let's say
then
reminds me of
nobody-
Morrison.
All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, St. Peter's would crush us. What is it? And then I actually, in the beginning, I got a minute. I'm coming clean. I was pissy. I was like, St. Peter's, I wanted this. That's what I wanted.
I'm also
And then I realized St. Peter's
100% sliding in Doug's DMs and trying to get him a T-shirt made. No question.
Is he a junior,
about it.
senior, freshman?
I have no
Anybody
idea,
know?
but I'm gonna find
It's
out.
incredible
That's
the run
amazing.
they're making. It's awesome. And I'm 100% behind it now.
Bro,
And,
their campus is the size of Weber Plaza. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Their camp is
There was a
bigger
guy
than
yesterday
where.
that stood outside on the street and he did like an aerial view, a 360 view, and he's like, "No, this is it. Like, this is their campus. It's a street. It's smaller than a high school,
They're
I'll tell
dancing,
you,
bro. They're
I'll-
and
dancing.
they're beat Kentucky on national television."
Right.
I'll tell you a quick story. My buddy's a huge Villanova fan. His wife hates sports, but she happened to go to St. Peter's. So Villanova was playing, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden she came down after
Get the foam finger?
After the second win, she went, hey, we're in the Sweet 16 already. So my buddy had to watch the Villanova game yesterday in full panic mode. He's like, if my wife's team, who she never watches anything, goes ahead of me, my team, I'll not.
Oh my
So now they're
god.
both in the Sweet 16. It's so funny.
Oh my god.
We
So
lost
anyway,
him.
bring up the final teams that are left. Here's the Sweet 16, ladies and gentlemen, right on your screen. Here are the matchups. Gonzaga. No, did I say that right? Toast. Gonzaga. The Zags taking on Arkansas. Texas Tech, who had a big performance. They get Duke, which is fun. North Carolina still dancing against UCLA. Purdue is the next victims of St. Peter's, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if we can get the Elite Eight. On the other side, Arizona and Houston, Michigan and Villanova, Kansas and Providence, and of course, Iowa State and Miami. I guess the biggest shock of this entire thing right now, besides St. Peter's, would be how far Michigan's been dancing a little bit. They weren't even supposed to be in the goddamn
I
tournament,
don't think they deserved it.
and they're in there, and they're in the
proved me
Sweet
wrong. I
16.
had them
Proved
losing
me
in the
wrong.
first round just because I didn't think they deserved to be.
Oh, you got to, how's your bracket?
Those of you scoring at home, the X's mean I basically.
Oh my
basically out of
God.
I had the Final Four as Gonzaga, Illinois, Purdue, and Iowa.
Well, you still got Purdue and Gonzaga
Yeah, but you
alive.
don't understand. This side of
The journey
Yeah.
to get there
I'm
is
dead
wrong.
last
I'm
in my
70.
family
I'm
pool.
76% on my bracket, and I'm in 3.7 millionth place in the ESPN.
Congratulations
bracket
to
challenge.
you.
ever see the guy who wins it though? He gets 3 wrong. It's
Yeah.
Is there any more perfect brackets
I was
left?
13 and 3. I'm like,
doubt
I'm winning the bracket
No
challenge.
shot.
This is amazing.
it's got to be a computer thing because there's so many
Yeah,
upsets.
no, there's guys
I
that
know.
just run programs and they
Right,
just
and they just they submit 100,000 of them, I guess. But
Toast
I've been
is
wa-
getting
Chris-
feisty in the comments today.
Yeah, who?
Toasty.
Toast getting
He
feisty.
says you did not say it wrong. And
Ah,
he
who
needs somebody to
cares?
Please say it right. I don't know
Stop.
how. So
Like real, but like somebody used to pronounce my last name terribly my entire life. I'm not going to sit there and get mad at them. Like they're like, I got announced once. I made an all-star team, believe it or not, when I was like 9 in baseball in Ford's Clara Barton baseball league, and I was batting
Gonzaga.
cleanup. They're like batting cleanup, Dave Sturchico, and I was just like, yeah, I didn't care. I was like, I'm an all-star. Look at me go, So it sucks. Yes, you know, people mispronounce it
on
all the
my
time.
Siri,
So-
I have to say call Dave Storkio.
Oh, see, that
That's how
sucks.
she says it backwards.
Screw
Scoop says
Siri.
it's Gonzaga.
Whatever. Gonzaga.
It's not
Gonzaga.
Gonzaga.
It's gone, isn't it?
Gonzaga.
I've
G-O-N?
never
It's
thought,
spelled with an
I've never
O.
really
It's
heard
Gonzaga.
Seriously.
any discussion
No, it's
about how
Gonzaga.
it's supposed to be said. Gonzaga.
Gonzaga.
Yeah,
Gonzaga.
that's what I said. That's what I was
And
saying.
you know who went to
touche. Anyway, so everybody's going nuts about the pronunciation.
Y'all need to just calm down. All right.
I gotta ask you though, and Chris brought this up. TCU versus Arizona was tough to watch. He said lots of. I missed the comment as it scrolls up. There you go. But lots
you
of
could
bad
bring-
basketball to digest from start to finish. Do you feel like? And this is a question for both you guys, because I can attest to it because I watched guys like Steph Curry make a living. Is basketball heading into the direction where they're just starting to just chuck up some bad shots just because that's the look they're getting? Like there's no more driving to the hoop anymore, I feel like, because if they do, it's more than likely 9 times out of 10 going to be a foul. Do you think there's a lot more perimeter shooting on the horizon of the game of
Well,
basketball?
that's where the NBA is. So if you want to get drafted, you
I mean,
have to do
yeah.
that now.
We're obviously that's what's happening. If you just, it's not even a question.
I'm saying, but how are they going to be taught is what I'm saying. Going like when they're kids, is that perimeter shooting going to be a big focal point?
But did you
in
see
their
the
lives.
difference? I think it was the Colgate game. They were hitting threes in the beginning, and then either Wisconsin or Ohio State, I forget which team, totally guarded the outside. They didn't get a shot off this because they didn't have the ability to drive. So you get a lot of that. I think someone posted on Chop Sports on the Facebook page, and I've been saying this for years. The tournament's awesome.
It's the greatest tournament
it's really,
in the world.
It's really horrific basketball. Turnovers, the 3-point misses are clanks. There's coaching decisions that make no sense. But everybody's like, "Yay, the tournament!"
There's been a couple games that were like laughers, but
and the ref calls. I tell you,
well, it's also college basketball. A lot of these guys aren't the most polished players. There's some teams that don't have the best players in the world, but they have a guy or two that could carry them. So you're going to see some sloppy basketball. But that's what it's all about. Am I wrong?
Ref calls, and you can't tell me.
No, the ref, dude. What team the other night, yesterday, shot 46 foul shots? 46.
Let me tell you something.
But and then Texas shot 12.
I think it's been great.
What the fuck?
I think it's been great basketball.
It has been. Listen, it's March. I love it.
It's fun. It's great. But the games itself, and plus,
what's the level of comparison here? The NBA, it's the same thing. You know, like the best in the yes, it is though. It's like all you talk about is how bad the NBA is.
The NBA is bad because it's just all 3-pointers.
Yeah, but that's basically what college basketball is now too.
Like the guy, he throws it into the.
There was a couple passes that went off like backboards for whatever reason. I was like, "Where's he throwing it?"
If you're sitting in the front row at an NCAA tournament game, you probably will catch a pass from somebody that's errant. I just think the refs and all this gambling stuff, FanDuel and all these different sites. I don't know.
It's coming from it's an older generational thing. I think the game. Look, March Madness will always be what it is. It's the biggest, the best tournament in sports. There's nothing better than that. Well, there really isn't, though. Honestly,
the NFL playoffs is the best tournament in sports.
I don't think so.
I don't know, man. See, and look, nobody's series. I would advocate for the NFL over anything ever. But this is 64 teams, bro.
Yeah, but there's 32 game sevens, and there's game sevens that shouldn't actually be teams playing each other. So it's like you got
but then you have that one instance where the 16 shocks the world, and you're like, this is the greatest thing I've ever watched.
Gives another team that should have had a tough game down the line an easy one.
Ask anybody who works at any casino in Atlantic City or Vegas.
Well, yeah, it's
the first weekend is the biggest weekend.
$3.1 billion more gambled on the NCAA opening 2 days than there is on the Super Bowl. 3.1 billion. But there is also just to be clear though, there's 32 games as opposed to one.
No, but it's awesome.
I just
said the games itself.
I'm an NFL guy. I'm not a college basketball guy. I love the NCAA tournament, but I just love the NFL playoffs more.
Listen, you're not going to hear me ever take anything over the NFL. I just think that when it's like, I think it's this the journey of getting there. When you have to start at round 1 and then work your way throughout the course of the next 2 weeks in a bunch of game 7 type scenarios, it doesn't get any crazier than that.
So you have
plus
to win
all the
4
studies
games.
You got to do.
Yeah, you got to win 4 games.
Yeah, okay.
4 games.
What?
You got to win 4 games to win the tournament?
No, you got to win.
No, you got round 1 to round 2, round 2 to the Sweet 16, to the Sweet 16 to the Elite 8, to the Elite 8 to the Final 4, to the Final 4 to the championship. You got to win 6 games in 2 weeks in a row to become national champions. One shining moment. Okay.
And all the Cinderella teams, there's always that one game. And here we go, 2 minutes to go.
Oh, Toast, you're getting too offended too fast, bro. Is that what it's in the water up there in Alaska? It's okay. We're not knocking the NCAA. We're like, yes, we're going to be talking NFL free agents because guess what? That steals headlines. The NCAA tournament should steal headlines. Sometimes it doesn't, but this tournament does, and I think it's a great thing. I'm excited about it. You know,
hey, we are who we are, bro.
When do the games resume?
I'm a college basketball fan, but just not nearly as much as you. So
I'm rooting for the Zags to win the whole thing.
I think so.
They gotta win.
Listen,
I am too.
I'm winning.
Hey,
I got them winning too.
How do you feel about that, Toast? We're all on board.
We're all on board with the Zags winning the national title. We think it's leaps and bounds. Of course, I'm pulling for St. Peter's to make some more magic. Does it happen? Purdue is if Rutgers could beat Purdue. And St. Peter's could beat Rutgers, and St. Peter's could beat Purdue.
Absolutely.
So that's that.
And another thing is Krzyzewski's record. I'm not a Duke fan. I can't stand him.
I can't believe he's still
around.
But
he's been to the Sweet 16 like
this is clockwork for him. This is clockwork for him.
It's like that's I don't care.
Enough already about Coach
hard
K.
to do that, man.
Coach
to win
K.
2 rounds every year. That's tough.
So we're still dancing. St. Peter's still dancing. So the story that broke that really
you ain't wrong, Rashad.
What?
I'm just talking to my boy
Rashad. Chris just wants to talk Packers.
Welcome, Rashad.
Yeah, you've been around for a year. So anyway, the biggest story to hit the entire
subscribe and like the video, Rashad.
Please, thank you. Oh yeah, that's very good there, Chris. like the video if you're watching this. Subscribe to the channel. We have a nice little surge over the weekend. We want to continue that. We're this close. We feel like we're this close to 1,000 to start getting monetized by YouTube. So it's a beautiful thing. We're excited about it. Jimmy's making sure he's subscribed right now. He's like, well, let's just make sure.
No, I'm the only one. I'm still on the old school Facebook page.
We need to get off that and get over to YouTube.
I'm on the YouTube.
We'll hook it up. But anyway, so over the weekend, last week, you saw what the Deshaun Watson topic did to me and Gooch. Okay, it drove a rift in between us because we don't know will he, won't he? Who knows if he's going to play? But then finally he gets dished, and Deshaun Watson is now the newest quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. In exchange, the Browns gave up. Oh, I'm sorry, the Texans are getting a 2022, 2023, 2024 first round pick for this
That's not
guy.
all, too. I think there's a scattered in there.
There's a swap of twos this year. So there's a lot of real estate being moved for one guy who might not play. So here's the deal, though. In that, you can leave it there, Dina. In that deal, he does get a brand new extension, 5 years, $230 million. And here's the kicker, folks. It is fully guaranteed money. This is the biggest guarantee of any contract ever.
And there is another kicker here where 2 days after they released the details, or the day after they released the details of the contract, they went back in and reworked the first year of the deal.
Oh, I wonder why.
So this is where Dave steps in and acts like he's going to try and paint me into a corner
No.
where,
I'm just saying.
where he's going to try and make it seem like I said something I never said.
Nope, not going to do that either.
All right,
I'm just go ahead.
They reworked the contract, so in case he does get suspended, he's not going to get fined nearly as much. He'll only lose like 50 grand.
50 grand a game as opposed to like 3 mil.
As opposed to
So why this is awful.
Awful. Absolutely awful.
This guy, he's innocent until proven guilty. But there's a possibility he could be in the complete jerk off category, and it's going to cost him.
Well, I mean, he
$125,000.
put it this way: he was not brought up. He wasn't indicted.
I know
Does that make sense?
I
So
know
he's
that,
cleared
which
of the
is fine.
charges. There is a civil case going on.
22 of them.
But now I read a decent amount on this situation just to kind of get a background on things, and I did probably more diligence than the Browns did on the Deshaun Watson thing.
They did go out. And
the
we'll talk
lawyer
about that in a
of
second.
the plaintiff is the person suing him. Am I right? Yeah.
Mhm.
So the lawyer of the plaintiffs, in this
22
case,
plaintiffs.
said that the Cleveland Browns never reached out to get any information from the lawyer
That's
to
bad.
see anything what was going on with Deshaun Watson. Now,
And guess how much they're suing him for? $230 million.
right?
Right,
To be
dude.
payable
I saw a
over
meme and it
5
was like
years.
a good way to remember to kind of understand the details of the Deshaun Watson contract was he gets a $10 million signing bonus and then $10 million for every allegation that was brought against him. So 22 allegations, 22 million plus the 10 million signing bonus. The math
Unbelievable.
I want to know
adds up.
this though. The Cleveland Browns. First of all,
Brownsiest
who's
thing they've ever
rooting
done.
for Deshaun Watson?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Besides Chris. No, I'm just saying. Who's rooting? This is a bad P. Imagine if you're a PR person at.
Well,
at the
look,
Cleveland
that's
Browns,
the
you're like,
thing.
How do you handle this? You can't put them all over the billboards. It's not,
Right.
Well, I mean, Cleveland,
it's
the
gonna be like
Cleveland
this
Browns, the Cleveland Browns just got beat up for a better part of a decade by a rapist. Well, I say rapist. It's probably not actually true, but Big Ben has some same allegations kind of brought up against him in a very similar case. Not 22 people, but a 22-year-old.
But Big Ben was suspended.
Big Ben was suspended. I'm not saying that he's not going to get
So was
suspended.
Deshaun
But my
Watson.
No,
point
he
is-
was not.
My
But
point
he
is,
by-
when Big Ben had his farewell tour this year, there was nobody talking about his history.
Hell no.
Maybe
Because
me.
Because guess what? It was 20 years ago.
Okay, and in 20 years, when Deshaun
In 20
Watson's
years,
done
when
playing
Deshaun
football,
Watson's hoisting a couple trophies over the course of his career,
I don't think
nobody's
going to
fucking talk about it. I
don't
believe
think
that.
I don't think that he's going to win any trophies in Cleveland. I got to see that to believe that.
I'm just
Cleveland
saying.
is that team. But
This story irritates me for two reasons. Number one, he's possibly a creep, so you can't root for him. And why weren't the Giants in any of this mix? We got
Well, no, because you know what, though? Credit to the Giants
They
for
said, "We're not
for
getting
saying, I'm
involved."
not doing this. Look, I know Daniel Jones stinks, but we're not going to bring in Deshaun Watson and possibly lose him for 6 games and then have every Giants season ticket holder say, what?
I don't think the Giants
Yeah,
are.
you're going to win games.
Deshaun Watson fired.
I don't think that the Giants. I don't think that the Giants were in a position. I don't think the Giants were in a position to make this deal because they're not a quarterback away and trading up all their draft capital right now. They would just have Deshaun Watson playing on a bad team with no draft picks for the next 3 years. The
That's
Giants would have loved to get Deshaun Watson. Let's be fucking real about this, right? All the allegations
as a
aside,
player,
they would love to get Deshaun Watson, but to give up that capital, you almost have to be a team like the Browns or the Seahawks, like a team that's been competitive, that has a good roster, but all you need is the quarterback. So the Colts, I don't know what the Falcons were thinking, but the Panthers were good.
It's also that another thing is, we live in a society where you do have to be tried in a court of law.
Sure. And I agree with that. And I agree innocent until proven guilty. Totally. But the problem is these things won't go away, and like the Browns know that. They put out Kevin Stefanski, their head coach, puts out this long-winded Instagram post about his statement saying, we did all our research. We did everything we had to do. This is blah, 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 blah. Like, look, man, like I don't know if I should compare it to when they let Mike Vick back into the league. You know what I mean? It's not the same.
It's not even close.
But it's not the same. But it's the same. When you're the Eagles fan base and Mike Vick is back all of a sudden, and you have 2 dogs at home, and you're like, so this is how I feel about this. So if Mike Vick comes back and you're like, wow, that piece of garbage, what he just did. The problem is, Mike Vick went to jail, so he served time. So you could kind of have that time, that buffer period to not forgive him or forget, because what he did was, as you would say, atrocious, right? But like that was horrible. But now with Deshaun Watson, there was no time done. There was not Payne came in before, said 20 years doesn't erase the experience of these 20 girls. And as a dad of a daughter, I'm sitting there like, you know what? Forget this guy.
Well, there has to be a little bit of acknowledgement of the fact where I'm going to play devil's advocate here, because none of us know exactly what went down. And I know that there's some scumbag lawyers out there that press on pro athletes, and they're out there looking for people. It's not like there's a bunch of people coming forward. Like there's a lawyer who's actively looking for people that will come forward against Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, of course.
No question
and
about
it. got up to 20 plus.
Hey, forget about the Creek thing. $230 million. Okay. It's a lot of money for a quarterback.
Yeah.
And the draft picks that you give up. And you know what? The NFL is built, and the draft is the way all those first round picks, man. I'm not so sure.
They mortgaged their whole future. On this guy.
On one guy. All of a sudden, and Deshaun is limping off here with 6:05 remaining, and it's over. It's over. I would never in a million years.
Oh my God. Speaking of limping off, did you see that video that's kind of made its way around Twitter, Gooch? With the potential, the defensive end from Michigan.
Oh,
yes.
So he goes down, tears his Achilles, right? But he goes down to the ground. Did you see the video?
No,
he goes down to the ground, grabs in utter agony, and the trainer, ball coach, whatever he was, walks around him, doesn't say anything to him, picks up the ball, moves on to the next drill. The guy is sitting there grabbing his foot.
I can't imagine that he did that on purpose. There must have been
he's laying on the ground.
There must have been some type of weed situation going on.
I'm just saying, the guy is laying on the ground in agony.
That's the argument.
That's why you're player first. Player first going forward forever.
That video is the argument for
you have always been. I've never been owner, but
if you're a kid like that, you should just never.
I'm not playing any. The minute I know that I'm allowed to sign an agent and I'm like about to get, I'm done. Once they tell me you're a first round pick,
no bowl game.
What's your pro day for? What's your pro day for? They've seen 4 years of your shit.
I'm good with all the ridicule that I might get from whatever fan base. I'm good with all the ridicule that's going to come from me. From
now you're fracturing my dollars.
It has no bearing on my life. I am not playing a meaningless football game when there's millions of dollars on the table for me. Just not going to happen.
It's like
sorry.
It's like in basketball when they know you're going to be a first round pick. You're like, oh, you're going to play another year? No.
Yeah, that's why. Going forward
on one day.
Going forward, when that coach walked around, that guy
True?
What?
Yeah, the Zion won't return this year. We knew that though.
No, that's not. Is that breaking news?
Because he's overweight.
It's not breaking.
Who put that out?
Zion, was he on the '94 Knicks? Zion, because I feel like he's been.
He lined up right next to Oakley.
I feel like it's like Jerry West down low into Jabbar, back to Zion for 3, in and out. Got it. He's been in the league for 9 years. He's played 9 games. I don't understand.
And he's 900 pounds.
The factor of 9.
He should totally be a Nick.
There is other
Oh,
breaking news on the local front with the Yankees that they just got a Supreme Court ruled that they have to unseal the documents that prove that they were also stealing signs.
Oh no!
So, like I said, they've all been cheating, and I'm okay with it, and I was okay with it. I'm glad I got on board with that early, because now it's like I don't have to be like, oh man, the Yankees.
Backtrack.
I don't have any egg on my face.
I
always said I've been okay with the cheating.
It's not as elaborate as he asked.
Well, Carlos Beltran started the entire thing, and he was also a Yankee first.
So here, oh man, if this comes to fruition, right, and the Yankees are caught with some stuff. I would like to personally invite all the Astro players onto the roster because if we're all in the same realm, Carlos Correa, after you're done, we'll talk about you in a second. But after you're done with that little mini mega deal, come on down to the Bronx. We'll open arms, my man. Open arms. We'll talk about it in a couple minutes.
Now, 6 years from now, I want every Astro player to be on the Yankees.
Can I just be clear about everything?
Sure.
Like before any cheating allegations came out, I hated the Astros. Do you want to know why? Because the Yankees didn't beat them. So there was no knowledge of the cheating while it was happening. When I left each of those playoff series with no knowledge of the cheating, I came away hating the Astros and their players. That's how fanhood goes, correct? You get eliminated a couple times by the same team. Right. You don't like them. The cheating thing aside, I'm not going to like the fucking Astros or Correa or any of those guys. Altuve, go fuck yourself, bro.
Even if they're on the Yankees?
No, that's different. Like I rooted for Johnny Damon, didn't like him, but I'm not going to be like this big fan of Carlos Correa, even though we'll get to him in a second.
Oh, but some NFL breaking news here. Matt Breida signs with the New York Football Giants.
From the Bills. He's a 49er back that went to Buffalo, and now he's joining all his Buffalo coaching staff.
That's a Shine move. Not Shine. Shane.
Yeah.
Shine's the one who told me.
The Dolphins signed what I say, bro. The Dolphins also signed Raheem Mostert over the weekend. Right?
So the coaches are bringing their boys.
49ers running back that's the same as Myles Gaskin and
Carol Baskins.
Who was the other guy that they just signed?
Mostert.
Maybe you guys
Tevin Coleman.
Maybe you guys covered this last week. The Giants have been cutting guys to save money on the cap, but they cut Logan Ryan and they saved $9. So that's a big.
He signed with the Patriots.
Logan Ryan. No, he signed somewhere else. Oh yeah, it was the Patriots.
Go figure.
Yeah, go fuck. Yeah, right.
Usually NFL teams don't cut a guy who's serviceable and without saving cap money. I think there's something happened there.
Interesting. On staying on the quarterback front, somebody else got the bag, and that was Mr. Matt Stafford to stick around with the Rams 4 years, $160 million. The money. What's wrong?
And he gets $160 million, and Deshaun Watson gets $230, all guaranteed.
And this guy just won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well,
literally won the Super Bowl.
One guy's
3 months
34,
ago.
and one guy's 27.
Yeah, I get it.
That's why that's the case.
So like if Daniel Jones ever wins, say if Daniel Jones wins the Super Bowl next year, he should ask for $700 million.
Daniel Jones has the career trajectory of Kirk Cousins written all over it, where he's going to get paid by somebody.
Sean Watson is not good enough to earn $230 million.
Let's just say he hasn't proven anything yet, other than the fact that yes, he has natural skill, but you haven't won anything. So where are you getting that money from?
Rodgers and Brady are vastly underpaid.
Not anymore. Vastly underpaid, Jimmy. Rodgers, he just got another $50 million a year.
But in comparison to Deshaun Watson,
but Deshaun Watson hasn't played.
He's also 8 years younger than Aaron Rodgers.
$230 million.
The Rams got busy with their new contract. Fournette, yes, we know about that. Nick Shine, playoff Lenny Fournette is visiting the Patriots right now. For a possible, I almost said reunion, but I was just picturing Fournette and Brady together, but that was the wrong team. The Rams did some more wheeling and dealing. After they paid Stafford, they trade away Robert Woods. He's traded to the Titans. The Titans just give up a 6th round pick. So now I'm feeling a little better about the Amari Cooper 5th round price tag, considering Robert Woods is good, younger, coming off ACL, so you got to be careful with that. But the guy's literally rehabbing right now.
Cooper's a better wide receiver than Robert Woods.
I agree,
but it just goes to show what the compensation is when you're up against it in the NFL. Like teams aren't going to budge. They're not going to give up anything, no capital whatsoever, when they know you're not in a position to keep the guy. So it's like if you don't trade him to me now for this 6th round pick, you get nothing, and you just cut him. Deal with the cap hit.
Yeah, that's right.
So just announced that Ray Rice signed with the Cleveland Browns as well for $180 million.
They're now the Cleveland scumbags.
And Greg Hardy is in for a tryout.
Well, listen,
and Big Ben is the backup here. You know what? I want to be the agent for anybody who's a creep, and you just try to sell as many guys.
Pretty sure they're going to hire Gruden to be the head coach.
Right. Oh man.
OH.
Yeah.
What? What are you saying? Oh, wait. So Lorenzo Carter to the Falcons.
Ohio, Dave.
We got some breaking news. Lorenzo Carter to the Falcons. That's a former Giant, right?
Yeah.
And that's coming in from Johnny Mashad, who's on reporting live from Absolute Eyewear.
We got an appearance from the Papa Gooch.
Oh.
My dad just had his knee replaced on Friday. He had a tough weekend, but he's back home and he's back on the show.
Wait, this is actually
Papa Gooch.
real funny though. Papa Gooch coming in here. Hi, dudes. I managed to crawl to my phone. New knee. Hate the Astros. The first thing he did after surgery was watch the Yankees blow a lead.
That is great. That is
perfect.
great.
Good luck.
Yes, they did blow a lead.
I've been
We'll get
hearing
into
for
that.
the last 20 years, if I got my knees fixed, I'll fuck you up. It's like, well, bro, I'm waiting. Bro.
It's time.
You know,
It
I
is
can't
time.
wait for a Chop Sports softball. Here's Papa Gooch.
Yeah, you say that. You know, it's funny. All right, that you bring that up now, and it's a good way to bring it up. So the girls, Liz, all of our former girls, they've traded themselves to Liz's Thursday Linden team, and they're bringing that team over, and we got released.
I'm ecstatic.
We all got cut.
By the way.
So there is no Chop Sports.
The only thing I could say, and this is for people in the comments who are talented, only talented,
This is March talking.
talented
No.
men.
This is not into the comments. This is nothing.
Okay,
This
fine.
is just what we're doing.
We're trying to do this, and if you're available, men's Tuesday nights. Men's Tuesday nights, softball league, Chop Sports trying to get a team in there. The deadline's tomorrow, I believe, to register your team. But, you know, to get released like that, outright released. And I was like, yeah, same league, same thing, same fields, same all that. But I hit up Liz, and I was
couldn't
like,
be more excited
so what's the
about
deal? And she comes back, and she's like, oh, by the way. And I was just like, did I just get cut from my own team?
What was the first baseman's name?
Stansky.
She's gone
Too. Lucrative deal.
No,
She got $230
No
million
disrespect,
in 5
no
years.
disrespect to the co-ed league, but come on, we shouldn't have been playing in a co-ed league anyway.
No,
We should have
No,
been playing in
not
a
at all.
men's league.
we should be playing in
you
a
guys fit right into the co-ed.
No, we're gonna go take and as in Gooch's words,
Men's
dominate
league.
Tuesday nights. We'll figure that out. We'll talk about it after the show because I don't
We're
want to.
looking at Tuesday in Woodbridge, Janine.
Yeah,
That doesn't make the bar
Johnny
scene-
will come and
the bar scene afterwards after any more fun.
I mean, Tuesdays are good. It used to be Pint Night at Fox. That
What the
R.I.P.
fu-
Fox.
I have a question. You had it was fun, but it wasn't like we were going to the bar scene. We were going to the bar sitting at a table with 8 of us.
And then
just
splitting up
talking
the
to each
bill,
other.
and then wind up
You know what I mean?
me and Gooch
And I ended up
fronting
paying
the bill.
fucking 38% of the bill every single week. I was like, I
saying-
drank a Miller Lite, and I didn't want to come.
I'm gonna come.
I just remember, at least there were some.
Yeah, we were
members of the opposite
casualties.
sex around and made
Who
fun.
calls
Bobby
cap
Bobby
casualties?
just called us cap
Oh,
casualties.
that's so funny.
Honestly, we should really be the cap casualties as our team name
Oh my
in the new
god!
league, sponsored by Chop Sports, of course.
Wow.
Why don't
Wow,
we do
wow.
a charity game against them?
Oh, first of all, Bobby, that's a T-shirt, cap casualty.
Boom.
Right?
Write that down. Write that down. Good
We're
job.
the
Bob.
first team where the men got cut from a co-ed.
Yeah.
First of all, wait a minute.
I
I
literally.
refuse to believe I'm a free agent.
I
don't.
You
believe
are
I
a free agent. You're-
Technically, I didn't get let
You
go.
can
Go
go
for
wherever
wherever you want, bro.
I did not even get a call.
That's the
an
thing.
email,
So
a text.
it's funny. On the way home, when it was so nice on Friday, I'm driving home. I'm like, man, this is spring baseball, softball weather. I was like, I got to text Liz. Ready? I'll read you what she said to me. Where I got to find it because this
And
is
I
like,
bought 10
I'm like, this is an actual conversation we're having here. So it was Friday. Here it is. Ready? So I was like, hey, question. She goes, hey, answer. I said, any room left on that softball team of yours on Thursdays? I'm really getting the itch to play. Ready? I legit just kicked 2 people off yesterday because there's too many. I'm sorry. I said, Liz, are you kidding? I was like, this is my
I have
own
a question.
team. I was like,
wonder.
I got cut.
You know what I wonder?
Cap casualty.
I wonder if my brother's watching. First off, and second off, I wonder if he's on that team.
Ooh, that son of a bitch. You
Because
think
he
he got retained?
coaches. He
I
coaches
saw, you know
them
what?
and-
I saw a
So you're saying
Instagram story.
Carl has dissed us.
I seen an
No,
Instagram story of him pulling a bat out of a box.
Well, he bought a new bat.
So that son
with
of a
no
bitch is
knowledge.
playing.
Time out.
Carl,
He
you son of a gun.
First of all, Linden.
No.
Well, I'm
The
going to
Linden
explain something
team
with
is
my
coming
brother.
to Woodbridge.
My brother's
That's
situation.
the thing. And Liz did the whole
Shut up. Who
roster
cares
shuffle.
about Linden?
Carl is totally
Lyndon's Jimmy's gonna have a joke about Linden on Friday night, guaranteed.
There's no doubt
Right?
about it. Tell you
And
there's no
Carter.
doubt.
So, Carl coaches their flag football team,
Yes.
so he's got his weird
He's
little
got his inside track.
track. to
So he
play
might
in.
have signed a brand new
And Carl
extendo.
basically is co-ed.
You know what? This is my third.
Wow.
Like Carl is
Zing.
co-ed.
This is my third organizational softball diss. Of the
Actually, Chris Payne, with your 4th diss coming, is Jimmy going to show up for Old Timers Night?
Chris Payne, I was going to give you an autographed Artie Lang picture with me on it.
With me
Denied.
on it, he said.
Denied.
Wait. The
Big
best
Mac.
part is that the fact that he goes, I was going to give you an autographed picture of Artie Lang with me on it. I'm just there for the ride.
And Artie wasn't going to
No.
sign it. It was going to be Jimmy's
Yeah.
signature.
I have a picture of me and Artie, and Artie signed the left side of it, and I usually sign it
With your little 706. Never forget. Oh, my God. All right. So there's more. There's more NFL before we get off it. There's stuff that happened over the weekend. Obviously, Robert Woods with the trade. Does this make room for Odell? You think there's a reunion there, Gooch?
Yeah,
You think that's going to
I
happen
do.
now?
I don't know that
After
it's
he
going to
went
happen.
off
I
the
think
handle on Twitter again?
Odell wants to get paid probably a little bit better than he was paid last season. He had a good year down the stretch for them. He got injured. I'm going to explain something. Odell will get paid because the team will give him that money. That's all I'm saying. If he wants to take a team-friendly deal and make it heavy incentives again because of the injury and just run it back with the Rams, then I could see that happen.
How does the NFL work? You get in the league, you have to tear 3 knees apart, and then you get the
Choose your destination.
Chris
After that.
Godwin just tore his ACL. He got 3 years, $60 million.
Yeah. Listen, just so you know,
With
just so
a-
everybody's
with a-
aware.
He's on crutches.
ACLs,
right
Let's
now.
see how that goes.
ACLs and Achilles,
That
they're
surgery
no
is
more. They're
nothing.
no longer death blows to your
Okay,
career.
okay.
With the modern science,
Okay.
thank to Dr. Sean Basinger
I,
of
wa-
Health and
I,
Fitness
I watched
Professionals.
Saquon. I just watched Saquon.
Oh, Saquon.
Saquon Barkley.
Oh my goodness.
He looks like he runs like Gooch's dad right now, and everybody's saying, no, everybody comes back. Everybody comes back.
No, Saquon.
Oh my goodness. All
Yeah,
right.
he's
Anyway,
done- he's
so
done that.
I was just curious about the
done.
Odell thing. Other things that came over the old waiver wire. Juju went over to the Chiefs, which, by the way, that's going to make the most cringeworthy TikTok videos of all time between him and Jackson Mahomes collaborating. So that's going to be terrible. As far as my Cowboys are concerned, in case anybody cares about that, which nobody really does except for a Cowboys fan, they're doing their due diligence, which, by the way, is the new phrase within the Cowboys Twitter, is that the Cowboys just do due diligence. They're interested in, but they never sign anybody. So they're always interested in those people. So there's interest in Bobby Wagner. There's interest in Zadarius Smith. There's interest in Tyrann Mathieu. Whether they bring any of these guys in is another story.
I think that Tyrann Mathieu's a pipe dream. for a
Why? I
player
mean,
on the team.
apparently he's down to 2 teams, the Colts and the Cowboys all of a sudden. So
like,
if they don't bring back J-Ron Curtis, I think they
I
played
heard for
2
weeks
different
about
safety
how like
positions, though.
Deshaun was, or 3 days ago, Deshaun was definitely not picking the Browns. He was down to the Saints and the Falcons. Like, all this is smoke and mirrors to me. I think that the Cowboys might not be able to afford Matthew unless he takes a very similar deal to what Carlos
Nick Shine coming in, NFL moves. He goes, NFL moves, NCAA games, and the co-ed local softball league was the biggest story of the show. It's
I think
amazing.
it's a
It's
much bigger story.
not wrong. What are you
I
saying
gotta
now?
tear my
Micah Parsons
ACL.
trying to get the Honey Badger down to Dallas. Yeah, Toast. I mean, they all are. I mean, he also tweeted at whatchamacallit, at Bobby Wagner too. So look, with the players, they kind of dictate, and that's all sports now at this point.
Scoop's
What?
talking shit about Urban Meyer. I
Oh
don't know if
man,
anyone
that came
picked up
out
on
today.
it.
Urban Meyer, there's a story about him, how he said, and Jimmy, I know you don't know the NFL like
He
we know
knows
the
who Aaron
NFL.
Donald is.
You know who Aaron Donald is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So Urban Meyer, according to a report off the Athletic, said, "Who's that 99 guy?" Like, you talk about a guy not invested in the game of football.
Oh, 8-time first team
Listen.
All-Pro, that guy?
Yeah, that
He's
guy. Like DJ Chark came out and said that, he was down, he was degrading, he was a piece of shit person to everybody involved, and I'm paraphrasing. But he said that he's very surprised that Urban Meyer wasn't fired sooner.
I'm gonna start defending Urban Meyer in front
How
of Dave
could
and
you?
see if he gets fucked up.
Some coaches take the money and they don't care. I watched it when Rutgers hired Eddie
All
Jordan.
right, hear me
and,
out.
yeah,
Urban
that's how it
Meyer's
is.
not really a bad guy.
He just didn't.
So we
didn't
doing this?
Care
huh?
about
Oh.
what was going on.
I mean, all right.
I'm
I'm
trying to get a
I'm not
rise out of
doing
Dave.
this. And Jimmy isn't scoop. I mean, I'm not going to yell over him about Urban Meyer. I promise you. Anyway, back on the Cowboys front, Lyle Collins signs a 3-year deal with the Bengals. So he leaves, and
what injury did he have?
he didn't have. He just had he had a weight problem.
I want to talk about one signing. The Cordero Patterson, happy got his bag a little bit. It was good to see him stick around in a team that used him the way he should be used. I thought he would kind of seek free agency and go bring his talent to somewhere like a contender, but
I'm with
I'm
that.
happy to see Cordero Patterson.
Rashad Penny signing back with the Seahawks.
Did you know this real quick about Cordero Patterson? He's been on, I think, 31 teams, and this is his first time out of all 31 teams that he's been on that he's received a second contract from a team.
Wow.
So he's in the league for 11 years at a skill position, and he finally gets paid after year 10. That is so rare in the
But
NFL.
that means he stinks.
No, that means
Then
that
he got buried on depth charts. That nobody knew what to do with the guy. So finally, the Falcons are like, wait, you're actually a running back.
He's been on every team in the NFC North, and they all suck except for the Packers, by the way.
Cordero Patterson was a Packer?
No, I said he was actually just a Viking and a Bear.
Oh,
The
so he wasn't even
Lions
a
are
Detroit
not
Lion.
really a team
So
at
Jesus
all.
Christ, you're like
Elvis- is that
50%.
Elvis Toast Patterson's son over there?
I have no idea.
Maybe.
Ken Ballman coming in saying college coaches don't have time to watch the NFL. That's bullshit. I don't believe that at all. Anyway, so there was one more thing on the NFL.
You know who the best player in the NFL is? It's like you don't have time to watch it, but he was
Correct.
in college.
Yeah.
too.
By the way, he went to school before he went to the NFL, so you should probably know that in your recruiting.
Is the
by
draft,
the way,
is the draft end of the month?
it's in May.
It's in May. I thought it was
Or end of April, maybe. I'm sorry, end of April.
about a
I
month.
don't know. Whenever Toast is getting married, he's getting married on draft weekend. So
April 29th.
There you go.
is the draft.
One more thing, and this was on the Denver Broncos news. Former Cowboy Randy Gregory yesterday sounded off on Cowboys Nation. So he literally said that the team.
Show me the lie.
Yeah, he's like, show me the lie. The team is toxic. The owners suck. Like it was, and I'm just like,
And he was like, and
I
don't
was
get me
saying, I'm like,
started.
well
Don't
played,
get me
man.
started on that fan base.
yeah. And then the people are like, oh, they just started being toxic this year. He goes, no, trust me, they've always been toxic.
First of all,
Who's
newsflash.
this guy, Gregory?
Newsflash.
Randy Gre-
He might be my favorite
Americans,
player now.
Americans in society is toxic. So if you're on a team, that fan base is toxic as well. It does not matter which team. Trust me, Giants fans toxic, Packer fans, dorks and toxic. I'm the only cool one. No, kidding. There's a bunch of cool ones out there, but do you agree that Yankee fans toxic?
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, you're
Like-
kind of cool. I mean, like, I don't know.
like, well, Boston fans toxic. Like, name me an organization.
When you say toxic, I say
No,
frustrated and passionate. Toxic is a hard word.
Jerry Jones is definitely,
the infighting amongst
Jerry
fan
Jones is not
bases and,
like the Maras.
The Cowboys, well, right?
It is a toxic
I'm not saying, but Jerry Jones and
Super duper successful, but
yeah, exactly.
he's probably a piece of shit
But he-
in reality.
toxic word of the day. Toxic fan base Packers. Toxic fan base Yankees. Toxic fan base Packers. Cowboys.
See, I don't know,
all
man. I don't
of
think
them.
the Packers
100%.
have enough fans around the country to be
Bro,
toxic.
you are so confused with that statement. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, here we
Packers have a lot of
go.
fans.
You want to
travel
be
really
labeled
well.
America's team because you're not.
I mean, congrats. I
I mean, look,
no
I got
bearing-
nothing else.
That has no bearing on like what that moniker means. Nothing to me.
Nothing.
But the Packers have fans. Like
Yeah.
this, they're a very popular team. They're fourth in revenue. They're from the Midwest. So for that to be
Sheboygan.
the case, for the Packers to be in the top 5 in revenue every single year playing in Green Bay, obviously they have a big fan base.
Yeah,
So do the Giants.
yeah. I guess.
And very,
Oh,
very toxic at
And so
that.
do the Jets, and the Jets have won 4 games.
oh, that's gonna
I'm
rub
telling
the
you,
right
I
way.
can't. You know, what would be great for this network.
What's that?
Give me 5 years where the Jets and Giants are good, and you're gonna have trouble squeezing in. Like, oh, the Packers win. You say, well, we know the Giants. You guys started this network with 2 of the shittiest football teams in the last 20 years. They all stink. You don't realize how big the fan base of the New York teams are.
Yeah. Well,
But no, Dallas is definitely number
Chris
1.
Payne coming in saying the Jets fans aren't toxic; they're just naive and stupid.
They're also just tired. Tired.
They're exhausted, folks. All right. Anyway, Dina, you got something over there for Lilac and Sage, please. And if you're wondering, gee, where's the old Manscaped read? Well, listen, we're in negotiations now, so we've reached that. So hashtag Taint Chunkle, don't let it go away. But yeah, so Dina, you do the Lilac
Hey,
and
thanks
Sage
for the
stuff.
free buzzer.
Yeah, the buzzer was great, by the way. Go ahead, Dina.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lilac and Sage Boutique is a veteran-owned LEO spouse-operated boutique based out of North Carolina. Their goal is to continue their service by providing affordable clothing to other hardworking women. They ship orders all over the world. Be sure to check them out at lilacsageboutique.com and join their mailing list so you don't miss out on any new arrivals. Use the promo code CHOP10 at checkout to receive 10% off your purchase.
LilacSageBoutique.com. Go check those guys out. Women's clothing line, supported, veteran owned. That's exactly what Dina just said. So go support the small business. They're out of North Carolina. I'm basically just doing Dina's read all over again for no reason whatsoever. But yeah, so go check those guys out. Also, if you're interested in getting a website developed, there is a guy for that, steveaspara.com. Go check him out. His rates are reasonable. He's a good dude. He's very easy to work with. He built chopsportsmedia.com. He's currently building ashmerefit.com. So he's got the experience, and it's not just ours too. He's got plenty of experience outside of that. steveaspara.com. Go check him out as well. All right. So baseball time. It's baseball season. I know we kind of teased it a little bit with those softball talk, but it's time to talk baseball. First and foremost, over the weekend, very interesting contract here for Carlos Correa. 3 years, $105 million. But what I'm reading is there's an out after 2. There's an out after 1.
There's an out after all 3 seasons. So after the first 2 seasons, he could get out. Yeah.
So after the what?
Any season, he's an opt out after any year, and after the 3rd year, there's no reason for an.
So what was the point of this? What you're telling me there wasn't? Well, were the Yankees players in this?
The dollar value. Look at it.
It's nothing compared to what people get.
No, but it's 3 years, and he's. What do you mean? It's nothing. He's getting over
$33 million.
He's getting $35 million a year.
So he might stick around.
So if he was no. But basically, what it is he could have gotten a 10-year deal at $300 million, right? I'm confused by it a little bit, but he doesn't maybe want to stay in one spot. I guess that's it. Or also, the market might change in 3 years as to where if he becomes a free agent at 30. Or next year or the year after, then it makes sense. Say Minnesota isn't the place he wants to be. He doesn't like it. He could opt out, and he's still in a position to get the same big deal that he got this year.
This is like Cano going to the Mariners.
He gets forgotten.
No.
He's done.
It's not like that. It's not like that at all. Cano signed a 10-year deal to go to the Mariners. This guy signed a 3-year deal with an opt-out after every year.
I will guarantee
this changes things a lot.
I will guarantee you this guy's not going to garnish more than $31 million a year 3 years from now. No chance.
I mean, I will almost guarantee you that he does. People would have said the same thing about A-Rod when he opted out 2 more times and got $300 million. You look at CC Sabathia, same deal.
Steroid era, so that's that.
All he's got to do, all he has to do.
Now they don't. Now they do different kind of steroids.
CC Sabathia era was definitely not on steroids.
Different kind of steroids.
The point that I'm making is that has no correlation on the structure of the contract. The steroid thing has 0 bearing. I'm talking about the finances of the way this is working. He has an opt-out after every year, which means he could sign a long-term deal after any given season. If you look at the shortstop class that he was in this year, he was the best one in the class, and it was a pretty decent class.
There was.
Right?
Yeah, because we're going to talk about another one who signed over the weekend, too.
Yes. So really, it's a 1-year deal for $31 million.
Correct. Because then, but he has 3 1-year deals for $35 million apiece. Technically. That's what it is.
Now, a lot of guys go for the long-term deal and guarantee the money. He's banking on the fact that he's not going to get injured and he's going to stay good at baseball. He's 27 years old.
Youngish. Like, he's not,
He's 27 years old. He's probably the most prime position to be a free agent right now. So I agree with that, Jimmy.
I can't wait to see the contract Judge gets.
There's been rumors about that. Before we get to Judge and the Yankees, another contract that is off the market is Trevor Story. He signs with the disgusting, bitter, gross Boston Red Sox. 6 years, $140 million for Trevor Story. He was on the market, not for that price. Like that to me, if you're this late in the game, Gooch, if you're this late to sign for that kind of money, I feel like the Yankees were never in on Story. Never. Like at any point that I feel like the Yankees were going to sign Trevor Story, especially after the trade for falafel or whatever.
I don't believe that they were either. I think if Trevor Story was willing to take a very similar deal to Correa, but a little less dollar value, I think that the Yankees would have been in on that. And I'm pretty sure they were talking to him this past couple days, but a lot of that might have also just been seeing how close the Red Sox were to landing him and driving the price value up, the price tag up a little bit, because that goes on a lot.
You think you think there's something to do? Like there's something to that? Like market, like that's what they're saying. Honestly, every NFL free agent right now is linked to the Cowboys. Does that drive the price tag up for people?
Like if I'm an agent of a team, I'm gonna link my player to a bunch of teams because it makes it look like there's a lot of interest in him and it drives the price up. Yes, this is all.
But would teams go out of their way to deny it?
No, some teams will, some teams won't. Some teams will be like, yeah, we'll act like we're interested to drive the price up. Like there's guys. It's just like me and say. I was the GM of a team and you were the GM of a team, right? And we both hated the Red Sox, right? You're in the NL, I'm in the AL.
Isn't this the guy that bats 110 when he's not at home?
Trevor Story, I don't know.
Look, he's good.
It's just like me batting in Linden.
He's good. He's good. You don't know much about, like, he's a good player.
Yeah, Story's
got
good.
Wheels. He could hit bombs. He's a good shortstop. To me, he looks like a bigger version of another guy that I can't stand in Dustin Pedroia. As I'm looking at this graphic, I want to slap the shit out of Trevor Story. Fuck you, Trevor.
So you're basically saying if I'm the GM and you're a GM, AL, NL, that if Trevor Story's out there and he's about to go to Jimmy's team, we're both gonna be like, we're interested too, just to drive the price up.
Like let's just say you're there. Exactly. Right. 100%. Okay. Same thing with draft too. You invite if you know, like, oh, the GM is over there and he's interested in a couple quarterbacks, you'll hold meetings with quarterbacks with no intention of drafting them, just so the GM over there sees that you're drafting him, that you're talking to him, and you might.
You gotta
all bullshit.
You gotta let this play out. How good this guy is.
I mean, these guys have been in the
way
league.
Sports are now. If you sign a guy and he sucks, and
With these
seems
guys,
like 2 or
though,
3 years later, you're on to
Jimmy. These guys have been in the league for a while, and they're done with their service time issues. They're now free agents. It's been proven that they're good players.
No, they're good players. And they're getting their
And
money.
Scoop actually brings up a good point here. He says Volpe's getting called up next year. They didn't want a shortstop. I watched him play yesterday. I'm excited about this kid. I think there's something to him. Definitely excited about what he can do with the Yankees, and that goes for Austin Wells too, the catcher. So maybe that's why they moved on from certain positions, knowing that in the pipeline of the New York Yankees, these guys might be up this year, for instance. Like that could be a thing too.
It's critical that the Yankees sign at least 2 more DH first basemen. You guys agree with that? Because they have 7 on the roster.
They traded away they traded away Big Papa Voit, and I wasn't very happy about that. I liked Voit, but there's no room for him. There's just no room for a guy like that.
And as far as I'm reading, there was like a locker room issue. He got into a
I don't know if that's true. Rizzo. I know. I read that article, but like I think it came from the short porch or something first, where it's like those are all like for like satire and like comedy. But I don't know if Anthony Rizzo is fighting Luke Voit. First of all, Luke Voit would kill Rizzo.
I don't know about. First of all, you have no idea who would win in a fight between anybody.
Well, during the show, Rizzo and Gallo both struck out.
He said that yesterday.
Listen, if I'm a GM of the Yankees, I'll be listen. If we have a guy that makes Giancarlo Stanton look like a contact hitter, he can't be on it. Those guys strike out. Unbelievable. They're lineup killers.
There was
Gallo
an interview.
And Rizzo stink at every.
Gallo was interviewed yesterday by Marakovich. Yeah, Meredith Marakovich,
big
right?
Right-hander.
No,
She's a big right-hander out of Texas.
I like her.
Blonde.
Yes.
She's a big right-hander.
I thought you said redhead.
No, the big right-hander. She's a former fullback. No, but she's actually
Hand
great.
off right side. Rambles inside the Miami 5.
I love Meredith. I really do.
So do I. But every
she's
time
great.
the Yankees, they as the year goes on, they start. Every girl starts out in the secondary. Next thing you know, they're rambling back. It's unbelievable.
Marakovich had an interview yesterday with Gallo. And I'll never forget this for as long as I live. He's like, yeah, and I'm going to strike out a whole bunch of times. That's just the player I am. I said, what am I watching? But that's the style of play. What he's saying is he's an aggressive swinger. And when he does make contact, they're going to go. But when he doesn't, he's going to strike out. And that's it. But I don't know, man. We'll see.
But Judge batted 310. He's an aggressive. And Stanton was 265, 270.
So this is another interesting topic. Chris Payne bringing it up. Where do you think Michael Conforto lands? He turned down the Mets for $100 million this past winter. Toast coming in saying White Sox or Phillies. So that's, Conforto.
Well, the Phillies just signed Castellanos.
They did.
So I don't think they're going to be in on another corner.
My boy
outfielder.
Castellanos.
I say you're going to see a weird team out of nowhere, like the Diamondbacks or even the Rockies.
The Rockies have been weird shit.
He's not. Chris Payne, you are 100% right. If Trevor Story just got $140 million, Conforto's not getting 100. It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
So I think Judge is going to get like 45.
That's I'm interested because he wants to be a Yankee for life, man. But
it depends
at what
how
cost?
long term he wants to sign the deal. If he signs some 10-year deal, he'll probably get $30 million.
And honestly, guys, I know this is crazy, and I don't want to talk about this much more longer than anybody else on any kind of media outlet. But this vaccine bullshit is really going to bite the Yankees and the Mets in the ass. But according to Buck Showalter, all the Mets are vaccinated. We don't know about Judge. We don't know about Gallo. We don't know about all these guys that are currently in the lineup. And now Judge seeking a new mega deal. How are you going to walk into Hal's office and be like, hey, man, I really like to talk about an extension? He goes, hey, you're going to play 81 games this year?
I would be like,
he's a Kyrie Irving all of a sudden?
Look,
like,
I'm pretty
New
sure
York is such a joke.
I'm pretty sure that if there was something imminent here, we don't know. But if there was unvaxxed players, we would.
I would be like, drop your pants. I got the needle right here. Here's your $40 million.
Did you get your vaccine in your ass, bro? Holy shit. What the hell's going on around here?
That would be the payment. That would be the punishment. You're going to hold out? You get it in the end.
Oh, man. 1 year prove it deal is what Payne thinks is going to happen. Before we get out of here, there was a story that broke over the weekend that Gooch brought up. And it's the potential attempted assassination of one Big Papi. The Big Papi gives the details on the shooting probe that happened last year. Remember, David Ortiz was shot last year. And now all of a sudden they're like, I guess we should put him in the Hall of Fame. So they did that too. So he's a Hall of Famer. But now, what are the details here, Gooch?
All right, he said that he conducted his own personal private investigation.
So no police in the Dominican Republic.
The police didn't actually give a shit about this.
Wow.
But Big Papi said that he was targeted over jealousy of his fame in the Dominican Republic, and the guy that shot him was a well-known drug.
The Yankee fan?
Shot was a well-known Yankee fan. Also, a drug kingpin in the Dominican Republic. Now,
wait a minute. This is advice to all Dominican players. Once you start making over $100 million in the
stop
United
going back
States,
to the Dominican
you have to
Republic.
just get on FaceTime with your mother and say, "Ma, you either come here,
I'm not coming home
or
for
when,
dinner, Mom.
when they run up like Scarface into your palace, you got." If any player in Major League Baseball goes back to the DR, they deserve to get shot. I'm sorry. What are you doing there?
Right.
You're making
If you do go back to the Dominican Republic, definitely do not bang a drug kingpin's wife, because that's really what happened
That
here,
should be
right?
it.
Like,
That too.
that's clearly what happened. Nobody's like, you know what? I'm going to risk it all, my entire cartel, because I'm jealous of Big Papi.
He had to hit that homer against the Yankees. That son of a
God
bitch.
damn it!
Hey, did you see the club they were hanging out? It looked like Riffies with a porch. What are you doing there?
It did look like
That's
Riffies.
it. I would be like, you know what, Needle, you got to get the shot. You can't line
Can't go
item,
home.
How many years, how much money, and you can't go to the Dominican Republic anymore. That's it.
I mean, listen, as we might joke about it, but it's a serious
True.
thing. It's a serious
you can't
thing.
Go home. I'm
People
so
got to
sorry.
Oh, man.
Get your family out of there, you know. Some third cousin. The
Nick
third cousin of Ortiz got shot
Let's
yesterday.
just
at the
say
end.
Nick Shine
Papi
coming in
is
with a
little
phenomenal
sloppy.
comment. Clemens and Bonds about to pull a Plaxico just to get into the Hall of Fame. Just shoot yourself. You'll be fine. It's all good. Oh,
Either
man.
get
What a
shot
show.
in the Dominican Republic or tear your ACLs. Only way to make money in this world right now.
Jimmy, it's been a show. I want to thank you for hauling ass down here. I know you got the Jimmy Palumbo show. We'll be recording that right after this, and of course
Place
that
looks
drops.
great, man. All you people at home, the studio looks awesome now.
Yeah. So now,
Well, it's been a work in
no, it
progress.
has been. It has been.
It still is.
It still is. I mean, there's still things that we want to tweak in here and there, but Jimmy hasn't been here in a while. So he gets back. He sees the Cabinet Creation sports desk, which, by the way, my Uncle Billy built this thing. So
Looks great.
it's great, right? I mean, this is just, it's sturdy.
It's sturdy. It's
It's
good.
perfect. It's exactly what we needed. So
Got Dina behind the glass.
Dina
over
behind the
there.
glass, behind the TV. You can't even see her
Can't see
face
her
anymore.
face.
I know. That's by design. And there she is. I'm just kidding. So anyway,
You're so mean to me.
I'm not. Come on.
Why'd you say that?
I love Dina.
I
She
know,
knows
but
I
don't
love
look about
Dina.
her face.
I
Well, you
love
know,
you
she
guys.
has to look at your
She
face.
doesn't have to. I did her a favor. She
I
doesn't
do
have to look
have
at
to
me.
look at
and-
his face because I produced the show.
Let's just say
Let's
Papi is a little sloppy.
Good evening,
There,
everybody.
yeah.
It's Poppy Sloppy Day here at Shea.
Does anybody
All
know that
fans-
reference? You better know it.
I don't know anything. What are you
There's
talking
somebody
I
in the
don't know.
fucking
That's a
comments
curb?
has
Is it
it.
the
I
curb
don't
thing?
have
Very,
the- I don't
very
have the
close
comments.
to
Curb your
curb.
enthusiasm.
But it's when Jerry
Oh,
goes
yes,
on a
yes,
date
yes, yes.
and he goes to take a piss in the bathroom, and the chef is the woman who he's on a date with's father, and he goes to take a piss and he doesn't wash his hands.
Right.
So he goes out and then he sees him like kneading the bread, right? And he's like, "I'm not eating that."
Yes.
Yo, Chris Payne just said, "Is Jimmy's access a ride outside?"
That is very funny. That's funny.
Oh, good stuff.
Uh,
Okay, I'm gonna regain myself here. Thank you guys for watching. Let's go Brown.
Anytime
Justin the
I
Alpha
see a
coming
new name, Justin the Alpha. Go head on over, give us a subscribe,
in. Go give
and
us a
like the
subscription.
video, buddy.
Like the
No,
video.
seriously.
Hey, listen, for Sturch at Gooch, and of course our guest today, Jimmy Palumbo, and Dina, the lovely Dina behind the
Thank
glass,
you.
who I wish I can see more of right now. It has been a show here on the Chop Sports Daily. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Justin Alpha, you can watch back the first or second thing we talk about is the Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, just
thing.
hit
If
the
you're-
re-
If you're new here,
rewind.
welcome and happy to have you, bud.
I think I've seen his name before.
I don't think so.
No?
I think
Justin
you
the
got
Alpha's
this
new?
from the thumbnail and the search.
All right. Done.
That's
Run it back and
organic.
like it.
Organic. I like it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's just say